Welcome everybody to 48 Talk episode 101. I am your host, Ray Smalley as always. Joining me this time is DXTakamina on the right, Derek on the bottom left, and Colin Jansen on the bottom right.
Hi.
Welcome over everybody.
Yo.
Hi.
Okay,
What's up?
first off, how are you guys feeling after that insane weekend at AnimeCon?
Great actually. Yeah. I had a great sleep when I got home, and I have been rejuvenated since Tuesday, so I'm happy.
I think it took me a week till I recovered.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I still have Monday and Tuesday stuff, then Wednesday I started finally gradually getting into it. I think by Friday I was completely fine. Then was back to normal. It just so much work was involved there, and of course thanks to shout out to the other people who showed up at our panels. So let's see, it was Doitsu, Flores, it was Miroslav, and one more I think.
Some dude named Colin.
Gino.
Oh, Gino was there of course, but other Dutch guy.
Me? Nicholas?
Nicholas. Yeah, he showed up.
Sounds like Colin a bit.
Sounds like Colin.
It's diverted from that, but that's another story.
Of course, we had the insanity of seeing Necronom Idol multiple times.
Yeah.
It was Derek. Really, you have an amazing group, I would say.
Amazing, yeah.
I feel very lucky.
They were so much fun to perform, to hang out with, and hopefully they had a great time in the Netherlands as well.
They did.
I did like it.
I'm sure they had a good time. I know me and Ricky, we hung out and talked quite a bit about everything, and we were very happy about it. Looking forward to coming back. Hopefully we can make it happen.
Awesome. Cool.
So. And of course, the big event we had, finally watching it till 3:30 in the morning. The Sousenkyo.
Yeah. What a roller coaster.
So, because we had a little time restraint, well, we had 2 hours, but still time restraint at the anime convention. Anything about the Sousenkyo we missed that we would like to talk about?
There was a fallout.
There was some fallout. There was some drama. I'm not sure if you guys covered it or not, because I had to leave prior to you guys getting down in the Zimbatsu. But I would be curious to know what your thoughts are about all of that, because I heard there was quite a bit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So what happens? What happens? Before the main concert, you also had a pre-concert. And during that pre-concert, they had like a request hour style, like which song would you like to hear, and they were voting on this side. So apparently, there was one moment where Matsuya Junya ran till the end for a song, and well, no, it was before that. So apparently during Juzen Sakura.
Yeah, Junen Sakura.
Junen Sakura. There was a part where they had to do the pinky and connect.
Yeah.
And I think you can see it in slow motion. Jurina's face against Sakura was just from happy to like intense, like, and saying do it properly, and just continued. It's just really out of character. Scolding during a live performance, and that was a little offsetting. Okay, what happened then later, and I believe that this is nothing factual or anything, but I do have a feeling that people, well, it was very clearly obvious, even if you don't do it slow motion, you can tell there's something happening during that moment, and you can tell that Yokoyama Yui is also seeing it, and she's Sokantaku. I think there was a dispute backstage between Matsuya Junya Sakura and then Yokoyama Yui and management. And after that, there's a song where they're running up, and Jurina just crashes. She's like crying a lot, couldn't even announce the next group, and then she had to be carried off stage because she just collapsed and just fainted and completely out of it. And then I start to notice during this whole concert and actually Sousenkyo, Jurina's attitude was weird. I think she did have a feeling like she was winning, so she was like, this needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be perfect. So she was really hard on the members during MC, during talks, even like during Japan. She should speak Japanese instead of Thai to take over the crowd, but more during the MC. So there were inappropriate moments where Matsui Junior is. The first point of enlightenment, Paul from AKB48 Daily pointed this out. Now, I don't agree completely with the comments he did, but I will also not fault him on that, because he's been attacked by a lot of people for Twitter, and stop doing that, I would say. I do agree that Matsui Junior was out of line here. It's still, okay, you're good for Sousenkyo, but do not be like this, I wouldn't call it dictatorship. It's like trying to force yourselves like, okay, you all need to follow me. It's like, this is my show, this is my party. And that was the vibe that Matsui Junior gave the entire Sousenkyo. Even during her speech, which funny enough, Fuji TV did not have, because they ended the broadcast after she gave her first speech and then questions after that. Matsui Junior asked Sakura, who was already disrupt, becoming 3rd place, to stand up. It's like, I want to see you next year. We still have unfinished business. Or it's like, you are my rival, so you need to be there. Even though Sakura just said, I'm not participating next year. And it made feel Sakura so bad again that Sakura was even not available during the picture time for the top 16.
Yeah, the official picture, yeah.
Yeah, so she was missing with that. And this all stopped with, well, for us international fans, we don't get the rest of the things we see. But the Japanese fans, they saw a lot more, and they heard a lot more, and they were really riling up against Matsui Junior. They were really upset, to the point that Matsui Junior actually had to do a public apology about this side. Now, I think it's fair that the public apology was needed. Again, it blows up out of proportion. But this was a little bit messy on Matsui Junior's side. Now, hopefully everything will be okay and we can move on this side, but it definitely was a slip-up on Matsui Junior's side, I would say.
I don't know. I honestly, like, we don't know the whole story, and also I think, you know, people, for whatever reason, have it out for Matsui Junior, always. They always do.
Since the beginning, I would say.
Since the beginning, and honestly, like, Matsui Junior did something similar last year, which she was telling Sashi, like, you know, I wish, you know, you were around. I wanna, you know, I wanna win against you. That's just Junior being competitive, and I think also, like, this is her moment. She's waited how many years for this? A decade. Like, I can't fault her for getting overly excited, too nervous. I mean, think about it. She knew she was the front runner. You know, and especially after Ogi's name got announced, she knew. She had to know, and by then she had this. You know what I mean? She had to have known. And I think, like, you know, Sakura-tan, yes, she presented a real threat, but let's be honest, Sakura-tan, for whatever reason, her fans don't seem to come through for her like they should. I don't mean that as a disrespect to any of her fans. I'm just saying, like, she just doesn't seem to have that pull. And, you know, I was devastated for Sakura-tan. I was truly devastated because I felt really bad for her. You could tell that was real sadness on her face. But it's the Sousenkyo. This happens. This is what it's all about. Drina beat you. You know, now your job is to bow down to the queen, because she deserves it. And as far as I'm concerned, let the reign begin. That's all I got to say. Let's move past the drama. Let the reign begin, because she's going to crush it. I know it.
Exactly, because we want to see a war, and we got it.
We got it.
Well, we did. We got a bloodbath.
I did forget to mention that also during the concert, there was one moment where the members were in the crowd to respective fans, I would say.
Yeah.
And there was one moment where Matsui Junior was in the crowd, and there were, like, fans, like, chanting, like, very happy for her. But you hear one fan's like, "You're not an idol. You're not an idol." Right. So she got a little upset. It's like, I am an idol, and just, you know, a little dispute over there, and she got a little upset by that. So I think the emotions with the pressure, with Produce 48, with all this thing happening, with the new single coming out, it's like okay, it's just I'm having a mental breakdown, and I can't even perform on my own birthday stage because I need to rest. So it's a lot of drama that develop about all these small little things. Now again, I do not agree with how the way she acted, but I do not fault her for it, why she did it. You know, it's again what Derek says, she's been working so hard for this for so many years. She finally got it. Let her gloat. Let her be like, yes, I can finally say I won the Sousenkyo. And after that, everybody good friends again, you know, hang out together, work together. and see what the future will hold for AKB48 as a group.
Another unexpected added pressure, I would say, is actually from Kenny Omega himself after he won the title, I would say. Since Kenny Omega won and he openly supports Jirina as well, everyone expected, along with Kenny, for Jirina to win the title. So I would say it would be an extra bit of pressure, I would say.
Maybe, not that much, but I would say.
It just adds up. It just adds up, I would say.
Yeah. Well, that was the main controversy on that side. I would say other controversies. I think Okada-sana's speech was amazing. With talking about going for next year #1 again, because he wants to be AKB48. Sousenkyo needs to be won by an AKB48 member.
Yeah, it's been way too long. It's been way too long, yeah, since an AKB member won it.
Yeah,
Has been.
It's been 2013 was the last one.
I mean, I guess if you don't want to count Sashi's inclusion in Team B during her brief time in AKB, but I would say at the same time, you know, it's good that Jirina won it. I also count, you know, Jirina was also part of AKB at one point, and you know, Team K extraordinaire. Only recently did she go back to SKE for full time, and also, again, I feel like Jirina can bring us into a new era, can bring us into a new year. She's great. She deserves it. When I think about all the names that have won the Sousenkyo, which there are very few, her name belongs there on the plaque. It really does. She has earned this. Now, after her, anyone's guess, you know, but we'll see what this year holds. We'll see how many people graduate. We'll see how many people actually stick around, who will pop up as the new front runners. Will we get a girl who we're not even thinking about right now that turns out to be all we talk about, like Ogi last year? Exactly. I mean, there could be 10 more Ogis right now just waiting to be discovered this year. We got a good year ahead of us. Jirina's at the helm. It's going to be awesome, man. And as far as I'm concerned, let the reign begin. The queen is here. I'm down. I'm bowing to her. She's awesome. So all the AKB members need to step in line with that. Seriously. Shut up and step in line.
Colin, you had some opinions on the Sousenkyo?
One thing we could say also about it is that the concert, you know, Sousenkyo was held in Nagoya, SKE's pride. I've had this with basketball tournaments. Whenever you perform in your hometown or home city, there's always extra pressure because you don't want to lose in your own place, in your home field. You don't want to lose there, because if it does, it will be even more devastating. Granted, while that may only be a little kind of bit for some other people, she was also very stressful. Like Derek said, all those things she's doing. I heard, whether this is confirmed or not, is that she probably didn't sleep for like days leading up. And when I say days, I mean like 3, 4, 5. There was not a specific number. So if you don't sleep all that much, and I even heard that after Sousenkyo, she took like a nap for like an hour. That panic attack that she had, I'm calling it a panic attack at the concert. That all led up to her behavior. And if you don't sleep very well and a lot of pressure, it creates a lot of stress. And when you have a lot of stress, you might say things you don't personally really mean. You know, I remember a time where Sakura was very mean to Miru because she was bigger, or the time that Sakura said destroy AKB. Those are moments where it's like they probably didn't think about that and they just spouted that out for whatever reason.
Hey, just give me 5 minutes after a nap and I'll tell a new one to everyone who speaks to me.
Right? Yeah, I forgive her, though that may be because of favoritism. Do I condone her actions? Not all that much, but I want to give her the benefit of the doubt because it's out of character. If this was normal behavior, I'm not going to give any examples, but if this was normal behavior for her, I would not have condoned it. But this is not normal behavior for her, at least that is my opinion.
If it was normal behavior for her, she wouldn't have won the Sousenkyo.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a whole reason why she won the Sousenkyo. That's the whole reason why she's always the top of SKE. I don't think this is normally her character of being like that.
It was, and maybe she doesn't like Sakura. Oh my god, you know, there are 300 girls in this group. You can't be friends with anyone.
Well, that's also a thing. Sakura and Julia actually hang out a lot, especially now with the Produce 48 stuff.
Yeah.
And we've seen countless of times
hanging out at something for Produce 48.
No. Hanging out in private as well. So it's
okay.
It's like no, I don't think there's actually hate between there. The thing is, we see Jurina's side on her anger, but Sakura was like, whatever. She really just I'm just working, and I gotta condone on Sakura's side as well. She really took it very well. She's like, not now the time to react to this. Maybe backstage, but we don't see the backstage stuff.
Not in public.
She comes across as the girl that keeps it to herself and lets everything out in private. At least that's how I kind of see her.
Or when she plays Fortnite on her YouTube channel.
That's like gaming. It's like, you have that more emotion, you know.
She says, "Die, Jurina." Sorry, the character name.
That happens. That's when she reveals her true colors. But they are nice in their own way.
Other than that, we talked about the World Senbatsu. They performed the heavy rotation song. Oh, Derek? Yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I gotta go grab my battery. I realized I came in, I thought I would have more time, so I'll just be 1 second, okay?
No worries.
But just go ahead.
We'll continue.
Okay, sorry, guys.
No worries.
So we're talking about then the World Senbatsu.
Yeah.
So at the concert they revealed they did the heavy rotation song, Noza Arena, representing something. I think Jakarta basically.
An idea.
Supposed to be JKT.
I don't think they're coming a single. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see what happens with that side. And I would like to continue to SKE's new single. They performed at the concert as well. It's now the MP come out.
Before we get into the SKE
exactly,
single, because I want to hear Derek's opinion as well. The World 48 thing, like I was watching the concert and they had this like really cool, nice intro, but they said it was a one-time thing.
Yeah, it's now.
Which I was like hoping, we did hear at AnimeCon, before we watched Sousenkyo that Chair Prong was going to be in World 48 and Reina and Machalin and all these great members. I thought they were going to do something with it, not do it once and be like, eh. It's like, I was kind of hoping for something.
A new single or something. Maybe they'll do this still in the future, but for now it was just heavy rotation.
It really depends on the reception of the whole group with the song.
Yeah, so. I mean, BNK is a monster. TPE is doing something. We have a new group coming up, and there's also, Jakarta. Who says that next year will be a World Senbatsu again? Maybe they just be like, all the Japanese groups.
Well, it's been the how many Sousenkyo now?
The 10th.
No. Oh, this is the 10th Sousenkyo.
Yeah.
So, but they call this the World Senbatsu. So it's still maybe from now on they will be doing that because more money.
Well, actually, since BNK members actually ranked in, they kind of have to. I would say.
It's likely, we had 2 non-Japanese members rank in, which is great, amazing. I love Chaparanga music. I wonder if they do it again next year. I don't know.
Chaparanga has a very good character though.
Yeah, that's true. Hot as HE double hockey stick.
I actually meant the character. Oh, we lost Derek. So the setup is now a little bit different. Hopefully he will come back soon.
No, he will rejoin. Don't worry about it, I would say for now.
Okay. Sorry about when you're watching this on YouTube. We look a little bit weird, but at least you can hear us still.
Yeah.
Just focus. I don't know where you're gonna focus, but we'll see. And I'm stalling till he comes back, so I don't have to change anything.
Speaking about groups, we have a new one.
Okay, let's talk about that one. I would say
Vietnam 48. Every time I say it, I laugh so hard. It's
Saigon 48.
Yeah, I like the color. I get why they choose the color. I thought that initially again pink. Why not another color? But then I understood why they did it. So it's like
because of the national. It was a national symbol.
Flower. Maybe I don't know. I'm sorry that we don't know.
It was flower,
but that's nice. But it's like
another foreign sister group. They're not doing anything.
It could be amazing.
The only 2 sister groups that are relatively good are BNK and in the lesser part JKT at the moment. So
that's true. JKT is like doing a renewal or something. We'll see. Maybe some of our Indonesian fans, they know a bit better. I hear that they're doing stuff, good stuff. I mean, not just regular stuff. But yeah, my idea from Pakistan 48 2 episodes ago doesn't seem like a long shot.
Have we ever heard something about Mumbai 48 except for the announcement?
No, nothing. I've heard more about Manila 48 actually.
We'll just let AKS do whatever they want, I would say.
Well, honestly, I want them. I said this in my first episode that I wanted to see some more pillars, that they work on their own foundation. And when I say that, I mean the core AKB members. That they focus more on those girls, because we don't really have, you know, pillars anymore that much, not in the current generation, depending if you see Yukirin as current. I still do, but it's like a bit in between.
She's more of a between member, I would say.
Yeah, in between. I mean, she. I mean, what
if
she does.
If you're talking about new pillars, I would say Okada Nana and Takashi Juri. Those two.
Yeah, but yeah, that's about it. And I need more hands to talk about, you know, what we had in the past per generation, even per year. I could name like quite a few, and it's like we only kind of have two. Yui Han, maybe, you know, as a third. You know, the captains. I want them to please focus on the group. I mean, they did it great with the previous single that we had theme songs. That was great. I loved. I didn't like Teacher Teacher, but I did like the concept that they went back to teams. And the Team 8 song is amazing. That's truly probably the best song of the album, or the CD. I mean, from Teacher Teacher. And the other ones were okay, great. You know, that's good. Why don't we have that? Why?
Well, the upcoming single definitely won't have the theme song, sadly, but maybe after that again, because I actually liked some of the coupling songs, I would say.
Yeah, me too. It was, 8 was probably the best theme song. I don't know what other people think.
For me, it was more the center exam song, I would say.
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to say next, because I personally find the central exam song a bit better. It's more idol-like. It's more my thing. But the 8 song, you know, center 8 was good. I think that the B song is also very neat. It's very relaxing.
Yay! He's back.
Hey, hello.
Sorry about that.
Okay, I've talked on long enough. Okay. Previous Teacher, not the song itself, but the B-sides, very good. Focus on teams, not another country.
Exactly.
Yeah, what we missed, we talked a little bit about the World Senbatsu, that we mixed the announcement that it was actually a one-time performance instead of a new single that was coming out. And
yeah, I mean,
yeah, go ahead. No, we're waiting for you.
I was gonna say, do we like this idea, or do we want it to be more? Because I think it'd be cool if it was actually like a real World Senbatsu.
Yeah,
more.
I want to be more, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if they the new chemistry, I would say. I want to see the chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, they are doing like Produce 48, you know, with Korea. Maybe the next step is, you know, with more of the foreign 48 groups that we have, you know, collaborating.
Exactly.
Like at the not Tokyo Dome. Yeah, maybe the 2011 concert where JKT came along, or even in 2013, I want to say, where AKB and JKT had a collab in Jakarta. You know, why not something like that? They kind of have like a few things, but they're like minor.
And then we talked about the new announcement of the group Saigon 48. What are your thoughts, Derek?
Yeah. So I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, it's another Mumbai. You know, we got excited about Mumbai, and they seem to have like one nice spurt of media. And yeah, what happened to them? Oh wait, they don't exist anymore. We have not seen anything. And then it's, you know, it's like there's a reason why like Manila 48 wasn't invited to the Sousenkyo. Like they had nobody, because they're dysfunctional. And I feel like, well, I don't know about Mumbai. They might be okay, but Saigon, it's like really Vietnam. I mean, I actually called it though a long time ago. I actually said they should.
Yeah.
But I think now they're expanding way too much without developing what they have already. All we have to do is just, you know, look at STU, you know, look at the boat and how it doesn't really exist, and how it's there, but it's not. So it's like, you have sister groups in Japan that aren't even done, and you're trying to expand, which is cool, but not really if you're not doing anything with it. So that's my problem.
11 sister groups currently.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And how many of them are actually active? Bangkok, That's it. I mean, Jakarta, like, I mean, after the whole Ramadan spectacle, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear anything from them. So it's just like, really, there's nothing.
They're still active, but not that much. I would say if we're seriously about what's not active, 1, 2, 3, 4 groups out of then the 11 sister groups are not active currently.
Right.
There's still a lot.
It's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea, cool concept. I'd love to see AKB everywhere in the world. That'd be great. The problem is that they're just not developing what they have already. And then also, too, I think for them to be truly spectacular and truly awesome, they need to do their own songs, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted it since Jakarta was formed. I was thinking, you know, I would love to hear
an original
song. Yeah. And like saying, like, Mumbai, can you imagine like some Bollywood AKB song? That would be insane. That'd be so much fun.
I actually want to see it.
Vietnam has some great, you know, cultural things that they could contribute. I mean, there's so many different ways you can make this a true world Senbatsu, not just a bunch of these groups in other countries doing karaoke versions of AKB songs in their own language, which again isn't necessarily bad, but it's just, can we make it a true thing? And also, too, if you're going to announce it, you better do something with it. Mumbai, it's been months. We haven't heard anything. Taipei, still a myth. You know what I'm saying? They toted out a few people at the Sousenkyo to kind of tease us. Yeah, where's their songs? Where's anything? They don't exist. Like, it's just like, come on, you know? It's like, stop doing this to us. Focus on what you have. You know what I mean? And get, for crying out loud, get poor Stu a boat. Let's start there. Let's just start there. Then they could scale it up to India, and they could help out the Mumbai girls because they seem to have had a really cool push right away. And then maybe go down to Manila and fix up that whole horrible mistake of a team there. And then, you know, maybe visit Saigon and say, hey, you need any help? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and then on top of that, they're going to do a World Senbatsu where they have what? One performance, which is kind of like, yeah, we want to be in the world, but not really. We're Japan. We're going to just be homogenous. I mean, that's kind of how I feel sometimes when I think about it. Cool idea, cool concept.
I think it's more continent 48, if you ask me, instead of world 48.
Right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Saigon 48, I have only one thing to say. Goodbye, Vietnam.
Oh,
That's a reference.
Yeah.
It's an old radio reference show from Good Morning Vietnam, I think.
Robin Williams.
Yeah,
amazing. I needed to do that. I thought it was funny.
Truly terrible, but okay.
Well, going back then on the Japanese side, they revealed a new single, of course. SKE48. What's it called?
Ikinari Punchline.
Yeah, Punchline is that.
With the center having won something that we forgot, who won all 3 main events from AKB. Sousenkyo, Junkin, and Request Hour.
Yep.
Oh,
that's just right. Yeah.
I learned that this week. I was like,
the Triple Crown.
That's true.
Yeah. Triple Crown,
Yeah, and it's obvious to know that she is the center of this song, because if you have seen the EMV, it's like Judah, and SKE.
Yeah.
It's really okay. First off, the outfits. Everyone is wearing this sparkly red outfits, skirt style.
Yeah.
Except for Machi Junya, who's wearing pants on that side, and with the hat, you know, being a little Ikemen style. And I've noticed during the verse, you see like a close-up on Jurina, like for 10 seconds, and then it cuts to like the rest of the SKE members, but Jurina is still thrown in there, and it cuts between Jurina so much. It really felt like this is Machi Jurina and SKE48. The song itself,
It's missing something.
It's the same thing. And recently, my girlfriend actually noticed something thanks to Produce 48, and I never noticed this before. So now I'm re-evaluating everything that AKB48 has done in history. And alright, so I'm gonna burst the bubble maybe for some. AKB48 focuses more on facial features and hand movement.
Yeah.
Not so much on the actual full body movement, except for an occasional song here and there. And I started noticing it, and it's like, I felt it's a little bit lazy compared to what K-pop is doing. it's weird to say this, but it's like, okay, I see a lot of hand stuff, and not even with AKB48 alone. It's like a lot of J-pop groups do a lot of hand movement and focus more on how cute they are in the facial features, except for actually using their entire body during a dance moment. Where you compare it to K-pop, they just dance the night away completely, using every body part they can imagine. You guys agree upon that, or?
Comparing K-pop and J-pop is like comparing Italian horror and Japanese horror, or American horror, whatever. It's different. They have different fundamentals, different ways of handling. We're getting into Produce 48.
Yeah, we're getting into PD48 territory.
And I kind of want to hear Derek's take on the SKE single. But what I do want to say is that this is something that I did notice in Produce 48. Like I said with the horror example, they have different basics. They have different ways of doing that, and J-pop also has different ways of doing that, and they have different different what they focus on. So it's like comparing apples and pears, like we say. That's what I think.
There.
So let's back up. So first of all, the SKE single, I thought was, you know, all Dorina all the time. I didn't have a problem with it because I love Dorina, so that didn't bother me at all. I thought they looked amazing. Everybody incredible. You know, it's the MV for them is never a problem. They look great. The song is exactly what you said, Robin. Meh.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's not the AKB style level that we are so very much used to, and also it's or SKE style, sorry. It's just like, you know, it's a good reminder of the fact that the old days are the old days, that like when we had songs like 1, 2, 3, 4 Yoroshiku were like popping and amazing.
I want the escape style. I want the escape style song.
That's what I'm saying. I want old SKE back. This sounded like it could have easily been AKB singing it. It could have been HKT singing it. It could have been NGT. Well, maybe not NGT, but HKT, AKB for sure. It's whoever's writing their song is really stuck on cabaret music, basically, and they're really stuck on this like real adult style like music that appeals to like 50-year-olds, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't. There's nothing there that's interesting to me. Nothing. So the song itself is a straight F. I wouldn't even give it. Actually, if I could give it a grade lower than F, I would. But Dorina was amazing, and the MV was cute. So if I watch it on mute, at least I get to see them. That's sad to say about a music group. So in that sense, I'm very disappointed in SKE for that single. But you know what? I don't even care because I'm more curious about what Dorina is going to do with the AKB single. That to me, with Dorina there is 1 and Dasu is 2, and then there's so many other SKE members in this whole, you know, Sousenkyo that got ranked. I'm curious to see if SKE reinvents himself by adopting AKB as their kind of mantle to be a new form of SKE. That new single I think that they just put out was a quick hash. Let's hurry up. Oh, sorry. Let's hurry up and get it done. And that's that. So that's my take on it. Horrible song. Great, not great MV, but fun to watch MV. So that would be my take on that.
I would really watch it for the visuals, but for the song, not
right.
really.
For the visuals, I would go with the Team S song with Kitagawa Ryoha in that. Oh, she's so adult in that music video.
Really?
Point taken.
Really? Okay.
Ooh, it's really spicy. Masijuna is also spicy, but I'm just noticing Kitagawa Ryoha in there, and she's like, "When did you grow up?" It's more
right. So as far as K-pop and you know J-pop and what your girlfriend noticed, I mean, yeah, you could. I guess you could. I mean, who cares? Like to be really honest, like you can't compare the two. You just can't. It's. I'm glad you brought up horror, Colin, because that's my specialty. J horror versus American horror are 2 different things. You know what the difference is with them? American horror, the good guys go looking for trouble. They go into the haunted house. They go into the forest. They go into the bad places. Whereas Asian horror, it's in your house already. It's just waiting to kill you. You'll be cooking dinner and there's a ghost right there. Boom. So the horror is already there. So in the sense with J-pop versus K-pop, and just to get in like this very briefly, because this could be a whole other thing, honestly, AKB has their own sound, their own signature, own style. It is based on kawaii. It's based on not extreme talent with dancing. That's not to say there aren't amazing dancers in AKB, but K-pop, let's just be honest, K-pop is basically African American music. It's just basically they're copying African American dances, they're copying African American beats, they're copying African American styles. In fact, all the producers probably went to America, loved African American rap and R&B, went back to Korea, was like, we have, let's do this. Because that's exactly what it is. I lived in America all my whole life. Like, trust me, I know. It's basically African American. Not saying that's bad. I like it. I like it a lot. K-pop has its own joy, its own style, and certainly if you want sexy, you cannot get any sexier than K-pop. You just can't. Those girls elude sexuality. They just elude it. But when you're dealing with 14-year-olds in J-pop who are singing cute stuff, I don't want to be thinking sexual, and I'm glad that they focus on kawaii. And also, more importantly, they offer something different. J-pop is uniquely J-pop. They have invented their own thing. Now, granted, they've been using a lot of different music styles that are very much part of the world, like I just said. I mean, cabaret music's been around forever, and now that's all I'm hearing from AKB. But every once in a while, you get a song like Koisero Fortune Cookie, which is distinctly AKB. Or like all the oldie songs are all distinctly AKB. Glaring horns and trumpets, fast pace, Akiba style, 4 on the floor EDM, like real fast. I mean, that's J-pop. So I'll give it up to J-pop any day of the week. It beats K-pop by a mile because they're not trying to imitate completely dances, music, style like K-pop is with African-American music. And challenge me if anyone doesn't agree, but I think I'm right on this. Now, again, not saying it's bad, not saying it's bad at all. I think it's awesome. I mean, they do it extremely well. In fact, I think they do it better than some African-American groups I've heard in terms of dancing as well as music. I honestly do, but only some. But I would say J-pop, you can't touch it because it's nothing. There's nothing in the world like it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference.
It's more that I wish sometimes they would put more effort in not only moving their hands and facial features, but moving their entire body during a dance.
You know what that is? That's you watching Produce 48. That's all that is. That's just Produce 48 talking there.
It feels just more effort.
No, it's not more effort. It's just a different style. Think about it. When the girl, Produce 48 made those poor girls look like from AKB look like the biggest ridiculous amateurs on the planet. Okay. Yeah. And again, if you understood the history and the context, which we'll get into later with our full review that we'll talk about, like honestly, you can't compare the two because it's a totally different mindset, style, and approach and reasons for doing it. And that's my point. It's like that's just Produce 48 talking to you, Rob. That's your girlfriend, and that's Produce 48 kind of speaking out through you there. Because honestly, like let's be honest, you love AKB for one reason, because it's AKB, because they do AKB really well. You love Koisero Fortune Cookie not because it's talent or no talent, it's because it's awesome, because it's totally different and unique. Now, the minute you start watching K-pop, of course you're going to look at AKB and like, oh, those girls can't dance. Yes, they can. It's just not the same style. It doesn't involve massive footwork, and that's like trying to compare Perfume to AKB. Why would you? Perfume is totally different in terms of their approach to the music, their sound, their style. It's just, why compare them? AKB's not trying to be professional dancers. They're not trying to be professional singers. That's the whole point of AKB. They're trying to be amateurs that become professionals. So when you have 400 girls and 380 of them are not professionals, what do you think your sound's going to sound like? What do you think you're going to look like? Not professional. The joy is to watch them grow, like MrJoshbox. We watched her as a 10-year-old or whatever, 11 or whatever she was, become this beautiful 20-something-year-old who is a master at what she does. Now, compared to K-pop, again, no comparison. Those girls get specific voice training, they get specific dancing, they live military style in dorms. I mean, some of those girls are tortured practically when it comes to like their food and diet regimens. I mean, there are horror stories abound with K-pop and what those girls go through to get to that level. I'm glad AKB doesn't put their girls through that. I'm really glad they don't. I'm not saying they don't all do. Some of them do feel that pressure. We saw with SKE with their, their choreographer. That one lady she looks like she came from the K-pop world in terms of how hard she is. But again, my joy is to see somebody like Tomonaga Mio, right? Can't sing at all. She literally is tone deaf. She can't sing. I love her. Why? Because she presents the idol kawaii nature. She's cute. She can't dance very well either. I don't care. I'm not watching America's Best Dance Competition. I don't care. K-pop, if I want America's Best Dance Competition, I'll go watch K-pop because they're copying everybody in America. You see my point? So J-pop is distinctly J-pop. AKB is distinctly AKB. And it's really a tragedy and a travesty when people start comparing the two. You just can't. That's why Protos 48, wait till we talk about that because I'm going to go off even more on that. But I'll save it.
We're looking forward to that. Wait one moment, Colin. I've been waiting as well.
Okay. No,
I'm so sorry. Sorry,
You
go ahead. That was my favorite.
totally misunderstand me what my point was. I said the reason I like AKB48, it's because of their characters. K-pop, even their best characters, from Girls' Generation, they have fun characters. Not the characters I can see compared in AKB48. I feel more connected with AKB48 because they're more appealing to the fans. Again, their facial features.
Relatable? A bit more relatable?
What do you mean?
I think the J girls are a bit more relatable than the K girls.
Like growing from amateur status to professional status.
Yeah, you can tell that even though they are on TV and doing that, they feel like you can meet them every day somewhere just around the corner or at school or whatever. Yeah, they're more approachable, I would say.
Yeah.
That's what the tagline from AKB48 is. Idols you can meet. So that's basically, that I agree with. That's what the reason I like them. And as well, I am saying I would like to see a little bit more effort in their songs. Like you said, Codes to Your Fortune Cookie is one of their key songs that we're well known of. And lately, the new songs that come out, they're like, there's a song, there's some movement with their hands, but there's nothing that sticks. It's not really something that, can feel like, oh, they put an effort in. And I even did the discussion when we're like, okay, what about movement? And I showed them Kei Kizaka for sich with Fukiwaon. And then I noticed lots of this and a little bit of movement, but most of them is stationary. And the reason why is the production, the filming on what Music Station does, for example, is focused more, because there are so many of them, on individual faces. They want to show you the character. So that's why they cannot move around too much, because if they dance too much, you can't follow them with the camera. And I think that's why the choreography is made like that. However, I would like to see a little bit more, so that it feels like they are doing a little bit more effort during their song. So if you have that EDM style song, that dance heavy song, show a little bit more movement than just flailing around and focusing on facial features alone. That's my point. I agree what you said, Derek, with the characters. That's why I like AKB48. Again, it's hard to compare. But just seeing it, I would like them, if they want to say, well, J-pop, so you have those battles always, J-pop, K-pop, something like that. If J-pop wants to be more well-known, they should do a little bit more on that style to get world-announced, not in Japan only. Yeah?
I don't think they're trying to be, though. I think Japan is very much happy to just be in Japan. And again, it's like they have the attitude maybe of come to us, That's why, like, the AKB expansion, that's why I think they're failing. That's why I don't think they work well, because this is such a unique style. But again, it's like, for me, it's like dance styles are dance styles. So they're focused more top heavy as opposed to bottom heavy as far as like less moving around. So what? Like that works really well. Like for me, that's fine. I don't need them to jump up and down and go crazy 99% of the time. It'd be nice to see it, sure, but not every song. Like Cloister Fortune Cookie, if you really think about it, very little movement in that song. Very little. It's almost all hand and upper. But it's genius. It's brilliant. It will beat a K-pop song any day of the week because it's original. That's my point. Like, if you want them to dance and be, flailing around a little more or whatever, I'd say great, but who are they going to copy then? I think they have their own way of doing things, and that's why I like it so much. Honestly, I don't need to see a Japanese girl in AKB48 act like, a girl from America who's African-American. I don't. I mean, I don't mind it. I certainly, if they can do it well, great. I have no problem with it. I like African-American music a lot. So again, that's not a big deal to me. What the problem is I like that it's so unique that if you suddenly interject that, I don't know if it would work or not. To me, here's where AKB needs to go. And I was telling Mario this because I was hanging out with Mario this week, like I was telling you guys. I took him to a show at the Milky Way. It was an underground idol show, a lot of groups, and I just watching his face turn as he was getting into songs he never heard before and just getting into it. Like he he converted. Like I could almost see like the major idol world like melting from him as he was seeing this underground world. That's where AKB needs to go. Now he said it wouldn't work; it's a different style, but I disagree with him. I think, and hopefully when he gets on here, we can talk about it more. But I think if AKB wants to expand what they're doing creatively, go to their own world. The underground idol world is full of creative acts, one after another, that do great dances, original songs, everything. They have everything. Migma Shelter would be a good example. They are super dance heavy. Have AKB go there. Have them watch Migma Shelter. Have them think, even though it's a little bit more tribal dancing, why not do tribal? That'd be a little different in the context of Japanese. Anything that's original and they make it their own, I'm game for. But to just go to America, say, R&B is cool. Let's just do all R&B. Let's do trap music and dance to trap and things like that. Well, K-pop's already got you there, because that's what they do all the time. So you know what I'm saying? And again, not to dismiss or say all of K-pop is bad, or by doing this, they do it extremely well. And I love it. There's so much K-pop I listen to. So I'm a fan of K-pop, just to clarify. But I'm just saying I like my J-pop. I like my K-pop. And part of J-pop means doing the hand stuff and being more focused on their kawaii-ness than the feet. I'm totally okay with that. I think that's not the answer. Is not to go more K-pop. The answer is to go more their own world and to cannibalize the underground world and take what's there. That's what they need to do. And I've been saying this for a while now. So watch. Next week we're gonna see that. That's gonna happen. You watch. I'll see AKB scouts standing next to me. You watch.
Yeah. Okay. To be fair though, I don't think there is a need for J-pop to copy the Western style music, because if I take a look at the market share wise into marketing, the J-pop industry is the second biggest industry in the world. So I don't think there is a need to copy Western style music like K-pop does. Because
there you go.
If you compare K-pop to J-pop, the market share of K-pop is a lot lower if you compare it to J-pop. So
it's closer to Dutch music. Am I right?
Yeah.
Like
Don't stop. No.
No, I'm not referring to styles. But
No. Like Dutch music is like Dutch music is awful. I don't care what people say.
I'm not saying it is great.
So bad. There's a channel that we have here. It's called TV Orange.
Oh god. Yeah.
And it's the worst. It's so. You want underground stuff? That is underground stuff, but it's so awful.
Market share, not styles. I was talking about market shares, though.
No.
That's not a topic, Robin, that we want to talk about.
Anyway, so yeah, Colin, go ahead.
I wanted to give my 2 cents on the SKE single, especially after Derek's, because I don't like this song. I love it. Oh my god, I am in love. It's funny that Derek said that this reminds him of Cabaret. I love Cabaret. Liza Minnelli, I had a crush on her since I was 6 years old. I mean, daughter of Judy Garland, I'm all for it, but that's another story. I love Ikinari Punchline. I saw this while Gino had his panel on Sunday afternoon. And I was sleepy. I had like 4 hours of sleep, and I wanted to do something else because nothing bad against Gino, but it wasn't like pumping for me. And oh my god, like this is without my doubt already like my favorite A-side song of the year, probably my favorite SKE song of all time, probably my favorite Jurina song of all time. I am in love with it. I was hooked in the first 10 seconds. Like that, I have never seen that happen in my in my time with AKB. Like I was hooked in the first 10 seconds. I love the music. I love it has this Latin feel, and I love Latin feel. That's the one music genre in my entire life that I always liked, because I was listening to Family Guy songs until I was 18, and I'm now 22. I'm still singing those songs if it gets on, or even Pokemon theme songs, because they click with me. But this song, I love it. It's so catchy. I don't care about the choreography. I mean, that dancing with each other, like the pair dancing, I love it. I don't have a partner to dance with it, which is unfortunate. But I love the music. It's so catchy. It's like Nekoya. I've watched Produce 48. I've grown to hate it because it's so damn annoying. But like this Ikinari Punchline is exactly how I define catchy. It's so catchy. Like it gets me going. It has this bit of a summer feel. The MV wasn't that good. I mean, they had green lights with it, this major red. It was awful. I hate green and red together. Only with Freddy Krueger. then it's fine. But that was a mismatch. And it needed more red for me. But I love this song. I've already, like, don't tell AKS about this, but I've already, like, if this thing loads, like, I've already downloaded the song, and it's already on my phone. Look at the red. Look at the red. Oh, it's Ikinari Punchline. I already have it. I have not stopped listening to this song.
Let me ask you a question, Colin. Let me ask you a question. When did you become a fan of AKB?
3 years ago.
Point proven. Okay, thank you. That's why you like it so much. Because you didn't come up through like the era of real AKB, like the golden era. Not to dismiss that or anything, but honestly, like that song you're listening to has been done probably 3,000 times, and I'm not even exaggerating with that number, with the amount of songs that have come out in AKB48's catalog. It's just literally it's dissected parts of older songs that they put together in cabaret style. Like if you really listen to it, like, and then you go back and listen to like SK's core catalog, like. I can't believe you'd say that, because like just throw a stone at SK's.
It's funny, you know, you have this. You could call it cliche, like they take something what they already have. This happens with movies too. Like every movie nowadays is not really original. They have like things from other movies or from other preview, or you know, when you have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's all the same story. You guy, you have powers, then he gets powers, he defeats the villain. I mean, they take from their own and they redo something else with it. That happens all the time. You have that with music as well, and you have that with movies as well. TV shows do that all the time. You know, same as drama. Like Produce 48 is another drama show, which, oh my god, it's so annoying. This happens all the time. Like nothing is really original these days. You have this golden gem every once in a while that like breaks records and is really good, but it's nothing is really original. Like they copy themselves. Like directors, when they have a movie, they copy themselves, or screenwriters, they copy themselves.
I'm gonna stop you there. I'm not saying because it's not original that it's bad. That's not what I'm saying. If it moved you, it moved you. I'm happy about that. Honestly, I am. I'm glad that you like it at all, because I honestly think it's one of the worst songs I've ever heard. But the thing is, here's my point. It's the fact that you came into the fandom only a few years ago, but I'm assuming you've definitely done your research and listened to the passive. I know you have. So how you could say this song would stand up to 1-2-3-4 Yoroshiku or Boku no Taiyo or for crying out loud, Pario wa Emerald, and you're telling me that song doesn't get you pumped, but like as much as, I mean, come on, dude, like really? Like
I imagine at a concert it would get me pumped, but would I listen to this in my car and my phone? No. Not those that you mentioned. Not to say that they're not bad, but on a regular day, it's like, you know, a bit like River or Uza. I want to see the performance. I don't really care about listening to it. I want to see it, because that's where the power is in those songs, for example.
But I disagree. I think the songs are great. I listen to Uza almost every day in my car when I had a car. Like literally, like that song blows me away. But here's the thing: is like, again, I don't want to get away from my point because I still wasn't finished. Is the fact that it's like this, man. Like when you hear songs that are replicating or snippets or whatever, every once in a while they're gonna hit a home run with it. Sure, every once in a while there's gonna be a song that's good, that's gonna be great. And again, you're right. There's nothing original in the sense that, like, there's an old saying that if we want to see in the future, we have to stand on the shoulders of those that came before us. And that's basically where we're at right now. Every once in a while, like, we'll get a Fukuan that's totally blows everything out of the water. But that's also, even that's kind of copying the past, but still they did it well. So if you're gonna copy and you're gonna do it well, then that's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah. But I'm saying you're giving it a ridiculous amount of praise that I think maybe you should be giving perhaps to the songs that actually deserve that. Whereas this one is, yeah, it's great. If you like it, it made you happy, great. But to say this is like song of the year, come on, man. It's like
A-side song of the year. I mean, Jabba Ja.
Well, we're still not done though. We're still not done with the year. We still got the AKB.
That is true. We're not done. I said so far. I did say so far.
Okay. Okay.
This is Sousenkyo single.
This is Sousenkyo, then we have one more, right?
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah, the 54.
So we have a chance. We have a chance.
I did say so far.
Okay. First off, Colin, this is a great example of everyone has a different opinion, and I'm really happy to it. I am on Derek's side. I totally not agree with you, Colin, but as history has shown since you've been on this show, We tend to disagree a lot on our opinions,
Even
but
during
those are
Sousenkyo.
opinions. Even during Sousenkyo, oh my god.
I mean, nah, no, that one person, but that's.
We got a lot more. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But we also I love Meru. Like,
for Matsui Jurina's center songs, you said this is the best one she's ever done, right?
For me. I mean, and that beats the Junkin song because that song has my Oshi, the only A-side song she is in.
Okay, you said A-side. Yeah?
Yeah, I said A-side.
So I'm now trying to go to my history of Jurina's center song. Does it count double center songs?
If she's the center, then you can count it.
Okay.
Like Negai.
Uza, go away. it's.
I don't like Uza as a song.
Uza is one of the history's most famous AKB song ever, centered by Matsui Jurina and Oshima Yuko.
True, but
I can show this.
Jurina was also very famous, and she is also not like many people.
I can show this to anyone who is not a fan of AKB48, and they will say once they watch or hear Uza, this is like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. It's not as poppy or as over the top as it sounds like. I like the beat, I like the style, and then they see them dance. Oh, they have some good movements. They like the video clip. They like everything about Uza. So to say that compared to Punchline, no.
Everyone is different. Everyone has their own taste. If you show it to 100 people,
yes,
I will pay. I will give you €1,000 if all those 100 people will like it.
Ooh.
I dare it.
I could do that. Maybe in the future. Still, the majority that will like Uza is more than the people who will like Punchline.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But I've never considered myself mainstream. I'm the underdog.
Ah, okay.
Like I said, I was listening to Family Guy songs when I was 18.
Yeah.
Catchy for me.
And Derek, the fact that he's been a fan since 3 years, well, I've been a fan for 4 years, and yeah, I've listened to my history on that side. So again, opinions can be different inside it. I think we so hardly disagree with Colin on this matter. What was the other fact? You said it was the best A-side of Matsui Jurina. You said it was also the Song of the Year from A-side so far.
I hope the Sousenkyo single can top it.
Is this only AKB48 sister group related, or can I also throw in Keyakizaka and stuff like that?
I'm not a fan of the 46 group, so you can throw it in, but it will have no.
Not a fan of the 46 group. Have you listened to Keyakizaka 46?
Well, Nogi, I like Nogi, but Kea no.
You don't like Kea?
It's not my style.
Okay, so now we have someone on the show. No, it's fine. Now we have someone on the show who doesn't like Nogizaka 46. Now we also have someone who doesn't like Keyakizaka 46. Okay. DX, do you want to join in and now state that I hate AKB48?
No.
Oh, no, Komi will. No,
exactly. No, I'm just a hybrid. For me, I'm more like, I like all the styles pretty much. And it just has to sound nice. And to be quite honest, I really didn't like Ikinari Punchline. I listened to it a couple of times, but I can't find my own flow in it, and that's pretty much it, I would say. So.
It is very interesting though, Colin. I really like this eye-opener, so when the next KS single comes out, we'll be like going all crazy, and you'll be like,
I'll be like, oh, Tachi again. Oh, that girl.
She just turned 17, so that's great for her. We didn't listen to the Hiragana Keyakizaka side yet. Still need to do that.
That album that they released recently?
Yeah, I need to listen to that. Forgot.
I think I listened to the main version like once. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Okay, but we'll see that later, I would say.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Other than that, yeah, I'm hopefully Song of the Year. I don't know. Then if I have to throw it in there.
So far, you know.
For Garasu Wawade, I think that's a better song to that side. On AKB side though, we had, what did we have this year? So we have Teacher and Jabba
Teacher.
Only those two?
Yeah.
For me, it's NGT is What You Gonna Do. I don't know. Mahone crushed it in that.
That's a B-side though.
Yeah, it's not
So
the case entirely.
it's the only song that's really rang in my ears this year so far. Although I like Teacher Teacher a lot. The more I listen to it, the more I think it's really well done. It's fun, you know.
Yeah, no.
Not a classic.
What about
It's fun.
NMB48 single?
I love the B-sides.
No, the
B-side.
not the A sides.
Nah, not doing it for me.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It was a nice MV. Like MV wise, probably NMB song is my favorite so far. Visually, I could mute that and watch it the entire day. But song wise, I picked those B songs because Hankyu Densha was my favorite song of the year because it's just beautiful on every level.
I think Yokubono is really good.
I really like Yakubono though.
Yeah, I think that's actually, if I have to do it on AKB's side, it is a contender for songs here. It's better than Punchline.
Yeah.
So, we can keep on fighting on this accord. We've already been talking for an hour. That's amazing. Let's quickly, because Derek wants to set off, and I'm going to set him off right now. Let's quickly talk a little bit about the first 2 episodes of Produce 48. Now, I'm going to announce it now. I'll explain more later near the end of the show. But we have started a Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/48talk, you can become a member, a Patreon member, to can support us. And one of the things we'll be doing is we'll give a full review of the Produce 48 episodes. And those shows are per episode 2 hours long. So out of content, they provide a lot to talk about. So look forward to see that coming soon on the Patreon site. However, it's not fair if we don't talk about it completely to people who don't really want to be on Patreon or something like that. So we'll give a quick review, a quick opinions on Produce 48, but for the full review, we'll go to patreon.com/48talk. So Derek, take it away. Explode on your opinions of Produce 48 episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, so I only saw the first episode. I didn't even know the second one was subbed yet. I was looking and then apparently it was subbed a few days ago. I happened to miss it. So the first episode, honestly, like you said, I'm gonna save the majority of my comments for the review. Also, I just kind of touched on my feelings about what they're doing with the girls in AKB on Produce 48. I will say this. I will start off by saying that the judges, they were very confused and perplexed as to how to judge the 48 girls, and I was happy that the show gave that kind of insight into the judges' mind, so they didn't come out to be like these horrible beasts that were just like bashing AKB. But their confusion is exactly where I was at now. Now I can kind of see the writing on the wall with this. Aki P probably agreed for one reason, because he's like, oh, this is like the epitome of taking girls that don't know anything and turning them into something great. So in other words, they could become better dancers. They could become better singers through going to Korea and training. But by the very fact that they're putting the Japanese girls in that position, kind of makes it seem like the K-pop way is better. And I don't like that insinuation one bit. And that's exactly right now, at least according to the first episode, the feeling I got, because every single group of AKB that went up there pretty much got made fun of. They pretty much got destroyed. And then also in terms of the ranking, the only one that really seemed to have done good, and again, first episode, was Yamada Noe. And she didn't do good. She was a laughing stock. She was like, oh, look at the class clown. She's so funny. They didn't even care that she was a good dancer or not. She was just a good personality. So in that sense, and again, I'm going to save my comments for our Patreon discussion on Produce 48. I will just say this. I don't like the comparison. I think it's, but yet, and I'm going to sound like I'm doing it, I was horribly addicted and I couldn't stop watching. I think because I liked the craziness of it. And also, to be honest, the Korean girls were amazing and they were fun and they were interesting to listen to. And they danced like ridiculously good, to be expected. But I just didn't like them up against the AKB girls, where it was like the AKB girls were the underdogs. And again, this could become an underdog becoming the major dog show. I'm okay with that to a degree. But again, it's all based on the assumption that Korean music and Korean style is better. It's not. So they're just different. And I think if they don't figure out a way to really exemplify the differences and judge them accordingly, it's not going to be a good show. It's going to be, oh, let's make AKB girls into K-pop girls. Why? That's all I have to say. And that's the very super condensed version because we've been talking a while.
Very good. I would say watch episode 2. That's the first thing.
I will.
Okay, my take on it a little bit. The way it's filmed, it's definitely a TV show. And it's not filmed in order of presence, so they mix all the reactions for the best reactions. So maybe something that started early in the day will be shown at the end of the episode, even though it was one of the first in line. They'll mix it up to get the best reaction out of it, the best controversy. What you said about the judges, I really like the judges because they are completely fair. It's what you said, they have issue with, oh, how do we judge this? Because they've been trained differently compared to the Korean trainees. But still, they are very fair. They are also, it has an advantage and a disadvantage because they are keeping in mind, hey, we can't judge them like we do on the K-pop trainees. That can work in favor because they are not so harsh if they make a mistake or do something differently. It's like, hey, they have a cultural difference. They do things differently over there. In episode 2, you will see that things will turn around because they will say, why can the Japanese trainees do this easily while the Korean trainees cannot? So they'll have a turnaround. It's really fair on that side. So in the first episode, you saw all the auditions. In the second episode, you'll see them being in the dorms, practicing on that side.
And reevaluation, I would say.
And reevaluation will happen on that moment as well. The thing is, the show is really easy to follow. It is 2 hours every week, but it's such a nice watch. It is okay. The way Koreans do stuff is something important. They'll show you it 3 times. They really they'll put the handbrake there and show. It is fine sometimes. Sometimes it's annoying, but sometimes it's like, okay, what happened? And then you see it like in every corner. It's like, okay. And it's harsh, but fair on this side. So far, I can already tell that the Japanese side will not be ridiculed. It's not like an insult to if you're a fan of J-pop. They'll show the best sides and the worst sides of both sides, even on K-pop sides. It's like, okay, you've been trained differently like this. But if you're on stage, that's more J-pop has more experience in that, or the girls AKB have more experience in that. They know they have to still continue instead of stopping in the track if we do something wrong. It's very interesting to see on both sides. So this is definitely a very good watch of a show to do. But again, if you want to hear the full review, we will do that on the Patreon side.
Yes.
Okay. I'm curious. I don't know if I would use the word fair with the judges because it's fair according to the K-pop standards. It's not fair at all if you just take into account the cultural thing.
Episode 2.
I will. But I'll also say that the judges are cool. Like, I didn't have a problem with them. They were interesting. They were funny.
It was interesting to see non-Japanese judges judging the Japanese.
Right.
Distance. So.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
I agree.
But up till now, I like the show to watch. Actually, it's a nice watch. I would say, just grab a drink and just relax.
Colin?
That's up.
Oh, sorry, DX.
Yeah, but that's up till now. That's my final point. So.
Okay.
Colin?
I share most of you guys' opinions. What Derek just said about being fair according to K-pop standards, yes, I agree. I agree with how it's handled, that it's reasonably fair. I have nitpicks, but it's reasonably fair. I like the judges as well, especially the guy that actually speaks Japanese. He seems to be very knowledgeable about how it is over there. And with over there, I mean Japan. And he can really work on it. I really like him. He has charm. My biggest nitpick, besides the fact that it's so long, it's how it's edited. And I have really been annoyed by the fact that every 5 seconds something pops on the screen, lines, text to highlight it, and it's used so much that it loses its effect, and it makes me really annoyed by it. If it's like an hour, then it's okay, but every 5 seconds, trust me on it, and they need to repeat it like 3 times, which I also. And it takes off the effect. That's my biggest issue.
Do you watch Japanese shows?
Define Japanese shows.
Japanese variety shows. Do you watch that?
Yeah.
Okay, you do know that, like, everything that's said in a variety show, it will be subtitled in special fonts.
Yeah, but that's only like 20 minutes or so, and this is a 2-hour event.
Have you ever watched the Gaki no Tsukai shows?
Yeah, but that's maybe because they have more charm that I like those.
Those
like
are 10 hours.
Yeah.
I've seen bits of it, so okay, I take that back.
No,
I
do understand what you mean. The style in Korean TV, there are little tidbits, there are lots more sound effects, especially in episode 2, you will notice something there.
Oh.
A lot of sound effects, a lot of moments, a lot of musical interlopes to have that style. Personally, I like it. It's a little bit funny.
Yeah, when they do have those reactions, you said that earlier, Robin, about when something happens and they show that reactions. I like that. That's fine. That's like, oh. But the fact that they have to repeat the song again, I'm not liking that. But that they show that, it's like, oh, you know, very positive. You know, those positive reactions. That's fine. But the effect wears off when they have to highlight something, and especially after 2 hours and a little bit minutes more, it's like. I still watch it because it's the summer break, like nothing is on anything. So I will give it a shot because when it's funny, and when it's fair, it's fair. But I will admit that I may have skipped like a second or 10 or so every once in a while.
Don't skip. That's also a mistake.
No, I did not skip Our Girls.
No, that's the thing. If you want a fair, like you said, fair review, you have to also watch the whole thing. So, skipping, I think then your judgment will be a little bit clouded, because maybe you missed something important in those few seconds. Even though you said, yeah, it's a repeat.
I did skip the first, when they like all came on the stage. I skipped that a bit, because that was like, yeah, I want to see it happening. This is a competition show. I want to see the competition. I don't want to see half an hour of them coming into the studio. I watched that later on YouTube, because I didn't have that much time, so I was like, I can't.
Well, we watched that completely, right? With that first half hour, Derek and DX.
Yeah,
and how much fun did we have during that first half hour?
It was really fun.
It was funny. I saw it.
We discovered a lot of Korean girls who were actually fun to follow, I would say. So.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
they're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I do recommend watching it. I
recommend indeed do not skip any parts. I know it's long, but then watch it multiple. Like, okay, I'm gonna watch a little bit now. Then later in the day, I watch a little bit more. Then a little bit in the day, I watch a little bit more. And if I'm gonna go do this review stuff for the Patreon page, I'm gonna watch it again, just for the notes, so I can do a full review on this. So yeah, as advice, do not skip.
Okay, I don't really have the time to really watch something early in the day, then in the middle. I don't have that time, but that is true. And I did watch the second half. Really, because that was what I wanted to see. This is a competition show, so I want to see, you know, when they do that. And what I saw, I saw. That sounds. I don't want to make it sound mean or anything, but that's how it is. I saw it. Okay. Do I remember any of those girls' names? No, but then again, I am bad at remembering names. I'm better with faces, but I can't say I'm going crazy for a singular girl, to be fair. But then again, I have watched half of the second episode because I did not have the time. But I did watch up until like Sakura, and everyone did their thing. I saw that, not the dorms.
Okay. Okay. Well, again, mention it so many times on the show because I really like to mention it. The rest of the review we will do on Patreon. So thank you for that. Let's wrap up for this week, though. Are there any plugs before we go?
Oh, I think there was one thing we're forgetting.
I
think the members and former members were celebrating Akipi's birthday.
Oh yeah, that was today.
That was cute. I saw him in the he was dressed up. A lot of old school members.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Like all the aces from the old school were hanging out.
Can't forget that because of AKB we have AKB, so can't forget it.
Yeah. Thanks to him, I'm rich. Basically, that's how it works.
Sugar daddy.
Pretty much.
Those were nice photos. Yeah, it was nice.
Okay.
I missed one person. Maybe I was the only one. Matsui Reina. I missed her.
Matsui Reina? Well, she was busy. She was busy filming, I think.
She was filming.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, oh, where she is at?
Where was Yuko?
No, I forgot about her. That's true.
Busy. Like they're
I forgot.
celebrities.
Like I
so.
said.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's true. Like there were so many. It's like, oh, Kasatomi. Oh, it's Itano. Oh, it's like, oh, it's Akimoto. Huh? It's like,
Okay.
It's Koji Haru again. It's like you always forget like someone.
Did
Okay,
hang
that
out with
was nice.
Katorena as well on Instagram. So.
Yeah, I saw that too. With Black Panther. That was
All right.
fun.
Derek.
Yeah, so a couple things. First of all, the Anime Con was a huge success in terms of Necronomito. They had a great time. You can now, I hope we can turn everyone's focus on getting all their friends and friends of friends to come to the East Meets West Music Fest in Anaheim, Los Angeles. That's in August. On August 18th and 19th, that will have Necronomito headlining, Yanakoto Sotomute co-headlining, Hanako-san of the 14th generation of the Toilet, also supporting, as well as many other American groups. First day of the festival, Abigail Williams, a very popular band, will be headlining that day. The whole point is to get American groups and Japanese groups together. Also, there's going to be some Japanese American idols there, like Ferry and Paprika Marie. Plenty of tickets still available. VIP tickets definitely available. If you get VIP tickets, even at the lowest level, you get to do the check-key signing, meet and greet, all that. Plus, each tier of the VIP comes a lot of special perks that we were trying to work on and still working on. But yeah, please check that out if you can. And if you can't go, but maybe you know somebody who will, please spread the word to them. Do need to get a lot more people in there. It was weird because when I first started announcing this, I got a bunch of tickets bought. Now it's like kind of slowed down. So I kind of want to revive this now that my focus is solely on East Meets West. The other thing is too, is like Robin said, we did start a Patreon page. Me, Robin, DX Gino, we all sat around in Gino's apartment last weekend and we worked for many hours on coming up with this, talking about it. Just to be fair, Robin started this a couple years ago and, our goal has never been to make money. It's never been about that. It still isn't about that. But there are things we need. Robin's computer is dying a very slow death. And
you can hear it. Oh my god, it's really going loud. It's like, please kill me.
Yeah. So the main goal of our Patreon right now is to just get enough money to get Robin a new computer. The second thing is DX talked to me and talked to us about we need to get some storage capacities, and then after that, if we make money and we can have a little bit of extra money that we can use in order to spend less time working real jobs in order to do more content here, that makes more sense to us. We have thousands of viewers that we get. Sometimes, we get at least 1,000 views, it seems, a week. We would like to think that there are some of you out there who understand what we're trying to do. There are other people in the 48 community that do this, but, to be honest, Robin was one of the very first to ever consider this. There have been a lot of spin-offs that I feel Robin should feel directly responsible for doing because we've seen a lot of communities pop up as a result of 48 Talk, and we're so grateful to know everybody, to talk to, we're friends with everybody. We support everyone, and you guys should too, but we kind of thinking it's the next step for us. And, Robin did a really good thing by starting this, and he's changed a lot of lives, and he's changed a lot of our discussions. And every week I see the discussions. I'm even able to comment now a little bit more than I was before, although Colin and DX have taken over that. Thank you guys. You guys have done a great job commenting. But even now, I just recently started to get back into it. But the point is like we're having a conversation. That's the whole point of this. And if you can help us keep doing it, we have a $1 tier, which is basically a thank you and a shout out on our show. $5 tier, which is you ask a question on an AMA video at the end of our month. We'll do one. $10 gets you monthly access to blog. I like to write. We all do. So guess what? We're gonna actually start doing written content now. $20 is our sweet spot. That gets you the extra video content, like Produce 48, for example. The special review we're gonna do. That's an extra video content we're gonna do. And that's just because we like to do extra videos. We love talking about this stuff. $50 gets you an episode of 48 Talk. You can actually be on here with us. No, we do have some regulars that come on regularly, like people that are in the 48 Talk community. They're doing their own things. We have them on just as guests. But if you're a fan and you want to be on, we thought, maybe for $50, you guys would be cool to support us. You can come on. And then, of course, $100. And we know that's a ridiculous amount of money to ask. And trust me, we're not expecting any of you to do it. But if you do, awesome. You can have your very own exclusive 48 Talk video, which means we're going to do a talk on anything, any topics you want. And it's your video. And we'll do it just for you. We thought a lot about these tiers. We thought we wanted to be different than what a lot of other people are doing. And also we want to stick to it. We're really good about that. So if you give us $1 and we're really going to give you a shout out. We're not going to not do it. Like we're really good about our fans and giving back. So if you can, starting today, please go to patreon.com/48talk. Please support us. We really need it mostly for Robin's computer right now, but we also
and the stores because we're now doing this extra content, which means more gigabytes needs to be inserted somewhere where we can save all these files. So that's why we also need the storage in the end. And we like to do the more content because sometimes this episode gets a little crazy and we're sometimes like, oh, the episode's a little bit too long. Like Colin said, sometimes 2 hours is too long, even though we're now at 1 hour and 20 minutes. We want to keep this compact and we all want to give something back. But again, the more time we put into this, the harder it is for, to keep things alive. Like literally this computer is from 2012. And every time I do this, I'm checking if it's not overheating because if it's uploading, it maybe crashes. If it crashes, then it's bye-bye. Then it's no more show. Then it's done. So, and currently I do not have the funds to buy an entirely new set to produce this show on this level. And I want to continue. I want to go grower in that side. So I do need the help. It's not like I'm forcing help. It's like I'm asking for help. If you think, well, you know what, I have a dime to spend. I have $1 to spend just to get a shout out. Please do. It's not mandatory. The normal episodes will be going still on YouTube. But the other content we're going to film, that's going to be exclusive. And you can find that on the Patreon site. Okay.
Those are my shout-outs.
Yeah. Anything else before we close up?
Just want to do a small shout-out to Ruka from the Discord chat I'm hanging out with. She's doing a 48 challenge. After Steve did the 48 challenge, Ruka is also doing a 48 challenge. So I want to give a shout out to her and please support her as well by just watching her content. And she's a lot.
Yes,
she's
support her.
Person, so.
She's awesome.
Very good then. Okay, then I'll say.
Wait! I have to
wait, Colin.
Next week, AKB show Tanuyuka graduation with 12 Gen. Hey, Mayoshi's in it. Amazing. I love it. I want to go watch it. And if you have time, Utage did a 3-hour special.
Oh yeah.
2.5 hours. And I'm gonna tell you right now why you should watch it. Because Michan is doing voice percussion, singing a song from 1981 with 4 other amazing women while wearing a wedding dress, looking hot, and also this girl called Yamamoto Sayaka or something like.
Yamamoto Sayaka.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that girl. I thought I heard her before. And also these lovers called Mayu Yuki or something. They are also on it. I think they did a pretty good job. But yeah,
awesome.
It's really for Michan.
Awesome.
And of course, chemistry is on there as usual. The guys from Kiss Me are on there, and like a lot of good artists. The E-girls are singing again.
It was amazing.
Nakai is doing the hosting again. Utage is always an amazing show to watch.
2.5 hour great. I watched that.
Very good.
It was amazing.
Okay, then. Thank you for watching this week's episode of 48 Talk, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Bye. Patreon.com/48talk. Bye.
Hey.